Welcome back, guys. This is CFP and this is Survival Living. Today's video we're going to go over again bug out. In no way am I deterring anybody to make bug out plans for SHTF. As a matter of fact, I encourage you to make plans in case you run into a scenario where you do have to bug out. In today's video, though, I want to cover a lot of dangers in the woods. There's a lot of bad things out there that most people have not encountered and unaware of the dangers of wildlife that is out in the outdoors. By all means, I have always encouraged going out with your bug out equipment and going camping, even if it's just a one-nighter of camping where you're just going out there to a state park or even your backyard. Even that could be a learning experience on how well your gear works. Now, when you go camping, or even in your backyard to go camping, you just take your bug out gear and you use the items that are in there for whatever needs you need while you're in your camping trip. You keep your mind set that you are no longer in your backyard. Where you are located at, that is your world at that time. So of course, using your water purification, your heating source for your fuel, for your food, things like that in your bug out bag is and definitely needs to be tested before you hit a bug out scenario. Now of course, most bug out equipment is expensive, okay? Most of your survival equipment is expensive. So I do understand where a lot of people have purchased certain items and they really don't want to use it until it comes to SHTF. Now I have to use this item. Well, I do understand that, but I also recommend getting to know that item. Alright, we just recently did a video on the breech pin. I've never used a breech pin before. I had two of them available and I used both of them. That way I can see how they work, if they were a good investment into the future as far as putting in my bug out bag, what capabilities they were able to do compared to if I just purchased them, threw them in my bug out bag and go, oh, okay, well, I've got a breech pin, I can do anything with it. Even those have limitations. So as an outdoorsman, I love being outside in the wilderness anyway. Further from society, road noise, deep in the woods, I enjoy. It brings me a great deal of happiness to be out away from everything. And again, I know many people are worried about going into the woods. So like I said, state parks, even your backyard, starting off, hey, it's a great idea just to get out there and get used to the environment. You don't have to go and do an expedition out in the Yukon territory your first time camping trip. I wouldn't recommend that for anybody, especially if you're nervous of the outdoors. But start getting more outdoors, start camping, schedule camping trips with your family. Especially if your bug outs and preparedness plans revolve around your family. You want to have your family on board with you in preparedness throughout everything. Now I do know there are some preppers that their family's not on board. Okay, I do understand that that is a conflict in a lot of scenarios. A lot of families don't believe in prepping. They look at the prepper in the group and think that we're the crazy ones. But if you're lucky enough to have everybody on board, start getting them involved in camping trips, things like that. Now there are a lot of people that go on camping trips and they're not preppers. So there's an opportunity right there, not to force prepping onto somebody, but getting them outside enough where they're used to it in case there is a bug out scenario. Now of course, for bugging out, you want to have a pre-location already picked out. Now when I was in Apopka, we had bug out locations set up. They were ready for resupply scenarios. In other words, we had a certain amount of time to get to these locations. We already had it mapped out, planned out, and multiple routes to get there. And when we got to these locations, we already had food, water, security in place on these locations. Just grabbing your bug out bag and running out to the woods and hope for the best is not a plan. you really need to have a plan set in place on where you are going. Go check that area out. Is it supplied with food, water, drinkable water, sanitation, power, things like that? Keep that in mind. Our bug out plans are not on the lines of running to the woods, sitting in a tent, hoping something big doesn't come and eat us, but thinking that because we're in the woods, we're safe from man and everything that might be coming our way. That is the worst idea ever. So have a plan, guys. Now, I want to go ahead and take the time to start talking about some of the dangers that are in the woods, because if you are bugging out through the woods to your location, or maybe your location is deep in the woods somewhere, you need to know about what is out there. Of course, one of the first thing many of us think of, I know I personally do because I've had experience with these animals in the past, is the bear. Grizzlies and black bears. They are not your friend. I believe we all have seen the documentary with the individual that decided he was going to go live with the bears, and he was communicating with the bears, and they've accepted him as one of them, and then later they find his footage after he was eaten by the bear. Bears are wild. Yogi and Boo Boo is a cartoon, guys. Bears are a predator. They will eat a human. They will track you down. If you are in the woods, you are in his territory. Now, having firearms is a very good idea before going out into the woods, but it's not an actual necessity need. But if you are in bear country, I definitely recommend firearms big time. Recommend those bear maces. Now, I've seen other people say, well, the bear mace isn't any good, why others say the bear mace is great. You know what? It doesn't hurt to have it with you. I would rather have that than nothing. So that's an idea to get in your bug out bag. Some type of repellent would be a good idea, some type of defensive thing against such a large animal, because if that animal is after you, he is coming after you. Now, many of our mountain ranges have mountain lions, bobcats, cougars. All right. Now, when I lived out in Arizona, it seems like I read reports and also seen the reports on the news of wildcats attacking joggers outside Phoenix, near the Mesa area, Superstition Mountain. Cats will attack a human. These mountain cats will get you. Down here in Florida, we do have the Florida Panthers. We have them here. So running into the Everglades is probably not the best idea if you're in Florida trying to do a bug out scenario. One, diseases from insects is huge. But today we'll talk about some of the venomous snakes. During my travels, I have come across countless rattlesnakes, water moccasins, copperheads, cottonmouths. There are a lot of snakes out there, and most of these are not even in the deep woods. You'd be surprised at just how many snake bites are just right in someone's yard because they went to turn on the water hose or reach underneath their back porch and get hit with a copperhead. So yes, snakes are a huge threat in the outdoors. Creek beds, waterways, lake shores, pond shores, things like that. Be careful for snakes. And we have to get to these water sources because we need water to survive. Snakes will lay very close to a water source. That is definitely a given. When you're out in the brush, be mindful for rattlesnakes and other venomous snakes out there. And of course, let's not forget the insect population. Alright, so mosquitoes is not really a life-threatening insect here in America. Other countries, though, mosquitoes carry malaria and other diseases. So be mindful of that. And yes, mosquitoes are everywhere. They're not just out in the outdoors, but if there's a water source nearby, there's going to be a lot of mosquitoes out in the wild. I've run into plenty of them. So keeping some type of bug spray, some type of bug repellent is going to be a very good idea for your bug out bag. Also packing, like I just recently showed, mosquito nettings for your sleeping areas. definitely a huge plus. Also, those mosquito net masks that you just put right over your head, those are almost a lifesaver, in my opinion, for being outdoors, because when you're trying to lay down and relax, you're not saying there's a mosquito flying in your ear. Scorpions are also an issue. We have scorpions here in Florida. I run across scorpions in Utah and Arizona and New Mexico. So I don't really know how vast the area is for scorpions. I know those are the states I ran into scorpions myself. Scorpions can make you very sick. Most scorpion bites, well, I guess technically it's a sting from a scorpion, are not life-threatening, but they will make you very sick. Now, there are some very venomous, very poisonous scorpions, but for the majority of scorpions, they're not as deadly as many think they are, but they will make you sick. And speaking on the lines of poison from insects, bees, wasps. If you have an allergic to bees, bee stings, definitely keep the medical supplies you need with you in your bug out bag, because these animals, these insects, are all out in the wild. Now, I don't know if someone that is allergic to a bee sting is also allergic to a scorpion strike. I don't know, but seems like it kind of fall in the same scenario to me. So, you know what, if you're allergic to bees, you might want to get checked out and see if you're also allergic to scorpions, and if your EpiPen, stuff like that, is going to work on something like that. Same with spiders, brown recluse, black widows. Woods are full of brown recluse and black widows. Now, there's a lot of other spiders outdoors that are not a threat to humans as far as any infectious bite or anything like that. They're more of just a nuisance, but they're out there. Now, if you're an individual that freaks out, hoops and hollers, slings your hands everywhere when a moth flies near you, you're gonna have some you're gonna have a trial when you go out to the woods. And I get some people just have a phobia of certain things, or flying insects in general. So keep that in mind if you're planning on bugging out. Do you have a phobia of bugs and insects? Because bugging out through the woods, there's plenty of them out there, and trust me, they will find you quicker than you will find them. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Again, these videos are not designed to scare anybody from making plans on bugging out. I fully recommend that if you plan to ever bug out in certain scenarios, start camping. Get used to the outdoors, take your bug out gear, start utilizing that gear, get yourself very familiar with it. Don't just go online, go buy a pre-made bug out bag somewhere and go, well, I have a bug out bag, I'm good, and you have no idea what's in it. You have no idea how the equipment even works. That is not going to work out very well for you during SHTF. So again guys, definitely encourage you to get outdoors and start experiencing the outdoors. I mean, I find a lot of happiness going outdoors, kicking back, have nothing but the sky above me. Granted though, I do like having a tarp, and now I have the mosquito net because I don't like mosquitoes. So till next time, you guys take care, and I'll speak to y'all later.